everyone, I am here with a true story. This one has a quote before it from Thoughts on Various Subjects by Jonathan Swift. Vision is the art of seeing things invisible. I thought I just heard thunder. Did you hear thunder? Oh, thought I did. I think it's supposed to storm. This one is called Miracle Man. You guys should, I know the one before I did this one is long, but you should really watch it because it's called When We Ask. It's got a bunch of different stories in one video that's titled that, and those are the best ones, I think, and they were really good stories. So if you listen to any of these, I think you should watch the one When We Ask. It's a really good one. Okay, Miracle Man. Mickey Robinson grew up in suburban Cleveland in the 50s in a typically middle-class home. We went to church and I had a head knowledge of God, Mickey says, but I don't remember knowing anyone who had a personal relationship with Jesus. I didn't know what this was important. He didn't think it was important. Mickey grew into a handsome, talented young man with many friends. At 18, he talked his way into a flashy job in a stockbroker's firm, which promised a career in which he could pursue the pleasures of his choice. Gradually, he became a skydiving addict. The only thing that mattered in life was jumping out of airplanes, he recalls. No amount of money or time was too much to spend on it, and I soon became a professional. If someone had told me that I had an idol or that skydiving was my God, I'd have considered them crazy. But your God is whatever is most dear to you. And even though I had a girlfriend and was planning to get married, I was 100% committed to this, to skydiving. Mickey seemed to have the perfect life. Day by day, a successful young businessman, by night, a wild child of the 60s, experimenting with drugs and alcohol and apparently enjoying it all. No one guessed that deep inside he battled feelings of unworthiness and fear, emotions that had plagued him all his life. I told you guys, remember me telling you guys, people could have all the money in the world and get anything they want in the world and have the nice, bestest stuff, but inside they're still missing something. They're still hurting deeply inside. That's because they're missing God and Jesus in their lives. They're missing the most important love that they could have. That's what the emptiness is, God. They don't have God. I thought I was in complete control, he says, yet I hungered constantly for love, acceptance, and peace. That's God. On a hot summer evening in August 1968, Mickey joined 4 friends for some skydiving. I don't think this is going to turn out well. He and the others climbed aboard a brand new Piper Cherokee, adrenaline already flowing. The plane cleared the runway and rose into the air at an unusually steep angle, then suddenly silence. Horrified, Mickey realized that the plane's engine had failed. "That's it," the pilot shouted. "We're going down." Plunging at 200 miles per hour, the plane spun, cartwheeled, and slammed into the ground. Mickey fell forward, hitting his face. Gasoline splashed everywhere. The flames erupted. Panic-stricken, the others crawled out of the wreckage, but Mickey couldn't follow. His leg was caught in a hole where the wing had been, and he was on fire from head to toe. The 4th skydiver looked back, saw Mickey and the pilot who was trapped in his seat, and ran back into the blazing aircraft. His first attempts to free Mickey were fruitless, but he kept trying. Eventually, he dragged me out, threw me on the ground, and rolled me around to put the fire out, Mickey says, but it continued to reignite. When the rescue workers arrived, they expected to find a dead man. Mickey had sustained 3rd-degree burns on over 1/3 of his body, and doctors believe he had no chance for survival due to the complications that most surely would occur. It appeared that they were right, for during the following traumatic weeks, Mickey's weight dropped from a muscular 167 to 90 fragile pounds. His bones were exposed through open sores, ulcers, and internal bleeding developed. Part of his esophagus was so scarred he could not even drink water. Oh. He was blind in his right eye, and one hand would probably have to be amputated. His temperature soared to 105 degrees. The nerves died in both of his legs, and his feet curled up like claws. It took 2 hours each day just to change the bandages. And if you've ever seen them do that on a burn patient, clean and change the bandages. I've heard them scream from doing that. It is extremely, extremely painful. They scream in bloody murder having that done. I think they should knock them out when they do that. His fiancée deserted him. True love there. And one specialist noted in his chart, "There is nothing I have to offer this young man." Let's just give up on him then. Mickey drifted in and out of consciousness, aware that he, a superhero, had been reduced to complete helplessness. Pray. Desperate and lonely, he began to cry out to God. "I'm sorry," he whispered over and over, barely remembering how to pray. Just talk. Just talk. There's no special way. All you gotta do is talk to God, like he's sitting right there beside you. He's your father. Jesus is your brother. Talk to them like you would your family, because they are your family, just like they're sitting right there beside you. That's what they want. That's how you talk to them. That's how you pray. That's how close they want you to be to them. Just talk. Please forgive me. Please give me another chance. One night, Mickey felt his body shutting down. Was this what it felt like to die? Suddenly, his hospital room vanished, and he experienced my inner man coming out of my physical body. Immediately, I became aware that the spiritual world is the real world. I also had an awareness of eternity, a complete absence of time. No one had to explain it to me. I just knew that I knew. I was traveling somewhere. I had no control over it. It was awesome. Drawn into an intensely spectacular spiritual realm, Mickey was filled with wonder as he approached a door, with a beam of the purest white light shining through it from the other side. It was from God, and he knew that the source of the light was the source of all life. Then as Mickey watched in horror, the door began to close. A great darkness started to surround him, and the meaning became clear. If this door closed completely, I would be cut off from this light forever. No, God, I want to live. On the edge of eternity, with the darkness almost complete, Mickey cried out, "I am sorry. Please give me another chance." Instantly, the glory of God overshadowed him like liquid gold. It was everywhere, over me, under me, around me, vibrating through me. I felt all of God's authority, all of his power and his love. I knew now that I would never die, that I would always be comforted and cared for. Then in front of him, almost like watching a big screen TV, Mickey saw images. Days, weeks, years went by, all connected together, not just one day here and there. I saw myself greeting people I never knew, as if I did know them. I saw places where I'd never been. I saw myself doing some dumb things I shouldn't do. There was a beautiful blonde woman whom he did not know. He saw himself walking with her through a pasture. There were familiar people too, friends from the drug scene still shooting up. There were faces. Their faces were horrible, and I realized that I was seeing their future. The vision ended, and the Lord told Mickey he was coming back to Earth. He did not speak in a language like I'm using, Mickey explains. The knowledge and awareness just came to me. I said no. I don't want to leave. But when God says something, guess what? Although this family and physicians continued their worried vigil, Mickey knew his near-death experience had been a turning point. He continued to ponder its significance, as during the next several years he underwent over 75 operations. 75 operations. A cornea transplant that shouldn't have been successful gave him back his sight after 5 years of blindness in one eye. Plastic surgery somewhat restored his face, and physical therapy helped him regain movement. His left leg, in a brace and completely unresponsive, suddenly began to work again. He met a beautiful blonde girl who looked vaguely similar, and after they married and moved to their first home on a farm, Mickey realized where he had seen her before. Far more important, however, was Mickey's inner transformation. God had removed all the things that were important to him. His physical powers, his friends, his self-image, and put him into situations where God's strength was the only power available. Gradually, Mickey saw that on his own he could do nothing, but with God his future was unlimited. Today, Mickey Robinson is a director of Prophetic Christian Ministries Association and lives with his wife and 4 children in Franklin, Tennessee. He is able to run, snow ski, ride horses, and yes, even skydive. And his speaking ministry takes him all over the world, where he shares the reality of God's power to transform with himself as a prime example. Near-death experiences, even miracles, won't change a person's heart, he believes. Only surrendering to God's will can do that. It isn't easy, but Mickey recommits himself each day. God looked down when I was in that darkness and said, "How would you like to make a deal? You trade in your life and I will give you mine," Mickey says. I think I got the better end of the deal. Sure did. Sure did. God gave his life for all of us. Look what he did to Mickey, and he can do the same for you. He's completely happy now and doing God's work. Doing God's work. God brought him back from nothing. He was dying. He did die, and God brought him back, told him to come back to earth. He didn't want to come back. He wanted to stay in heaven. Most people don't want to come back once they get to heaven. If you watch most near-death experiences, most want to stay there. But God sends them back if he's got something else for them to do. And now he's doing God's work. But sometimes you don't always get a second chance. That's why you got to be ready. Because you never know when your time's coming. Not everybody gets a second chance. That's very rare. It's very rare. So think about that. Give that a lot of thought tonight. And are you missing something in your life? Do you feel like deep down you really are missing something? Do you feel empty inside? You may have a lot of friends, family that you hang with and run with all the time and you have fun, but you still feel empty. You still feel this loneliness and unloved, like you're unloved. Do you have God in your life? If you don't, that's why. Talk to him. Just talk to God. Talk to Jesus. They're there waiting for you. They will never change. They're always right there. Right there. They are not going to go nowhere. They are with you wherever you go, and you can always talk to them. They don't sleep. They don't go to bed. They're always there. 24/7, 375 days, day and night. Always. So don't say you never have no one to talk to, because they're always, always there for you. Always. Don't forget that. And there's no better ear to tell your sorrows to and tell your problems to than theirs. And no better person to help you. Good night, guys.